can work it out. 'Cause giving in is oh so hard, but love is at stake. Where there's a will, there's a way. Now if we only knew how, learning to love, learning to laugh and our fears, learning to fight through these years that bring us closer together. Learning to love, learning the first golden rule, knowing that anything is possible. 'Cause nothing's gonna keep us from learning the ropes.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to a very special Learning the Ropes. I'm XLJ, the OG, joined by, is that Gangster B-Roll? Oh, God damn it, it's Lucha B-Roll. I didn't know Lucha B-Roll was getting hardcore with us tonight. I got my scissors, by the way. I hope that's allowed.
What's up, SA?
Good God. And I'm also joined by my other brother from my other mother, one Michael J. Duplessis.
Hi, how you doing? Good. I think we're gonna get canceled.
Yep. That took 30 seconds on the air, and imagine that on an episode where we're talking about combat zone wrestling, which is what we are talking about tonight. So excited about this because B-Roll and I we're going to be sitting in the student seat because Mike, this is your bread and butter. So excited for this episode tonight. Going to learn so much. Cannot wait.
Super fucking excited to talk about some ultra violence.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a glorious night. Make sure you got all your protection, your PPE, and so much more. So
Yes, and children, shield your eyes because I'm about to unmask. Because not gonna lie, during the countdown, that was very, very hot, very, very hot. Didn't think about that one. Did not think about
nearby.
that one.
So, well, while he's doing that, of course, as we always do when we kick off Learning the Ropes, we got to start it off a little plug-a-palooza. And it has been a very busy week here on Cole TV, as always. Of course, you can catch a replay now of our PW60 show, as well as you can catch a replay of our Naptown Pro Vlog, which is available now. And
but that's not what the people are talking about, though. There's some buzz about a particular Friday night movie night.
Yes, there is, which we are going to, and this is, you talk about extreme. Oh, man. So that will be, actually, it's Colecast, but that'll be coming up. We'll have a preview for that here at the end of the show because it's so extreme. We just got to do it then. But also, like I said, we got a Naptown Pro vlog, so coming to you. So check a look at this little sneak peek for you.
We are so good at this, it's not even funny. Whoa! Oh no! Oh! Hell! Oh! Good night.
It's a sexy cowboy.
Oh my God!
Yeah, get it. Where'd your hat go? There you go. That's some of the action from Naptown Pros. International Grapplers
numbers of the two girls in the second match.
Gotcha. I think we can work on that. But you can catch a replay of that now here on Cole TV. And hey, a huge shout out to our boy Steven from Gabby Sauce, who is like the best damn hot sauce in the world today. I'm telling you, I've never had a hot sauce like this before. If you don't believe me, just check this out.
What could you imagine putting the sauce on?
Oh man, you can put this sauce on anything. I'm already envisioning putting it on pizza I wouldn't even thought of, but it made pizza delicious, and I love pizza. You can obviously tell. But I mean, you can think of everything from chicken to fish. I'm thinking breakfast, an omelet or something, man. Hell, you could even put this on cookies and it would probably be delicious. You can put it on anything and it's going to be incredible.
It's facts. That's right. So go get you some Gavi sauce. We'll have some information for you in the upcoming weeks on some little Gavi sauce here on Cold TV. But shout out to them. I'm telling you, I've never had hot sauce like it before in my life. It will bring you to your knees. It is the nectar of the gods. It's incredible. Incredible. And like B-Roll said, we got a special clip, but you're going to have to wait till the end of the show tonight because this is so extreme and saucy. We got to save it to the end of the night. No. It's not quite there for like 7 p.m., but when we get closer to the end of the show, then we will unveil the sneak peek at the new episode of Coldcast. They'll be coming out tomorrow. And also want to give a shout out to World Championship Wreckage. A lot going on over there, right, Mike? Because I know finally we got some Queen's Court is back. How exciting is that you guys are back?
After a long hiatus, Queen's Court is back. Back and up and running. I'm glad to be back with my brother Husky Harrison, the Tribal Queen Bree Stout, talking about some old WWF. We are getting into Survivor Series of 1994 here soon.
Ooh.
So be on the lookout for a live stream possibly of that happening.
Oh, I like it. That's awesome. And of course, we're going to have some new Fantasy Warfare episode coming to you here real soon. And the next episode of Wreckage is going to be very interesting, to say the least. So you want to be on the lookout for that over on World Championship Wreckage's YouTube channel. And of course, don't forget, you can get some of our awesome merch over on ProWrestlingTees.com. Just head over to ProWrestlingTees.com. Look for Cole TV, and you can find some of our awesome shirts. We got a PW60 shirt. We got our Cole TV shirt. And be on the lookout. We'll have some coming in the very near future. That being said, I think that's going to do it for this Plug-a-Palooza. I think it's time for class to be in session. But we're not doing this alone. No, we are going all out, balls to the wall, to the extreme, since we're talking about CCW tonight. So let's bring
better
in,
than extreme. We're ultra violent tonight.
Yeah. This is going to be, like I say, make sure you got your PPE equipment on, folks. But let's bring our other guest on in. First, we got you mentioned him earlier, the American Cream Dream himself, one Husky Rhodes. How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's going on, people?
We're doing incredible, man.
This is about to get nasty.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking here for it.
Oh, let's fucking go. And then also join us tonight.
Should I be wearing a seatbelt right now? Like I don't
Probably.
Probably.
Brother, strap in. Strap in.
This is
Pack a lunch, brother. This one's gonna be a rough one.
Yeah, that's right. And also join us tonight. She's the very lovely, the very talented, the queen of extreme herself, one Kakeface, Karlee.
Hi.
How are you doing this evening?
I am doing amazing. So hyped to talk about some ultra violence tonight.
Yes. I'm so pumped. Let's fucking go. I'm ready to learn. B-roll, you ready to learn? I got my notes here. I'm ready to take them.
I am ready. I am ready.
Is there a quiz afterwards, Mike, out of curiosity?
I might.
Okay. Fair enough.
Oh shit.
You for
I hate school, so no quizzes. My God.
I was about to say, man, you're gonna make me do work because I'm your fucking Google fingers right now. Make sure everything's right.
Hey,
no quiz. We just all have to bring our favorite weapon of choice, right?
Yeah. Actually, I like that.
It's gonna be a pop quiz. Watch him. Watch out.
No. Too lazy for that shit.
Trying to throw us off.
Well, hey, let's just get right into it, Mike. Let's learn. Tell us about CCW. Tell us how it got started, man.
So, if we're gonna start with ZZW, we have to start with the Godfather, John fucking Zandig. And by the way, XOJ and B-roll, when you talk about a member of the ZZW roster, we usually emphasize with the word "fucking" right in the middle of their names.
Fucking,
a lot of people. Like there's a dude in TOD this year named Big Fucking Joe.
Yes.
I love Big fucking
Yep.
Joe.
Nick
It's
fucking
awesome.
Gage, Nick fucking Mondo. It is just a thing they do.
It's
Good to know.
It is commonplace in
Yeah.
Combat Zone.
And that's John Zandig. He started training in the early 90s with Larry Sharp's Monster Factory, a very famous wrestling school there in the Pennsylvania area that has a long list of legends that he has trained. From WWF Hall of Famers to guys who are on the current day main roster.
Yeah.
He started working in the Delaware, Pennsylvania areas for the dying NWA promotions when they were just going by states. So
Oh,
he
wow.
worked a lot for NWA New Jersey and NWA Pennsylvania as the Icon.
He's
And it was
straight
a
up Ultimate Warrior.
horrible
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior ripoff gimmick.
Which
Okay.
I gotta say, that's not something I expected to start off with talking about an Ultimate Warrior gimmick in CCW, but I got you.
Let's be real. John Zandig could have easily been a renegade
Facts.
Okay. Yeah.
because he looks almost exactly like that dude.
So
Did John
I-
Sandy work at a strip club too?
So
No, he wasn't a strip club bouncer, I don't think.
I could see him being a bouncer for sure.
no,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was he worked construction.
Yeah, he was a construction worker.
That makes sense.
He owns
Okay,
his
let me
own
ask you
business.
this real quick on that. Okay, he worked construction. Is that why this motherfucker likes to climb on high spots and shit? Like,
I think that's why he doesn't have the fear to do it because
okay.
He's on roofs of buildings and shit all day long anyway.
It was-
so he's just like, whatever.
and it was a
this is work.
legit family business.
Yeah.
Yeah. His son took it over once he got super busy with ZZW. We're going to be talking about his son and someone close to his son here later in the show. But he worked as an Icon, and I ironically have read that the Icon gimmick was a shoot on the Ultimate Warrior because
really?
in the early 90s, even though the Ultimate Warrior, yes, he had that weird mainstay in the WWF, but he kept on calling himself an Icon at like conventions and whatnot. And there was a lot of wrestlers and wrestling fans like, but really, are you an Icon? So he was just like, you know what? Let's take this issue with it. I sent you Husky this match and XOJ. I sent you this match. There's a famous match in a parking lot of a Walmart, and it's John Zandig as the Icon versus Doug Gilbert of the famous Gilbert family.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, yeah. I see. Yeah,
And
I remember.
Jim Cornette's there as Doug Gilbert's manager,
Oh Jesus.
Oh my god.
which is
Just the fact that
Also-
Jim Cornette and John Zandig worked the same show
That
is so
But-
fucked up to
that is
me.
insane to me.
That's some
Husky.
multiverse
If you
type
go to
shit.
what happened in
I-
2006, it makes sense.
Oh, with the
I'm
the
still hung up
crossover.
on in a parking lot at Walmart.
yeah,
I'm still hung up
You-
on that.
I don't know if it was a Walmart, but goddamn, it was in a parking lot. And the early 90s NWA was not good. The NWA
Listen.
had died with WCW and WCW and ECW leaving it. That's
Yeah.
what they had to contend to was just parking lot.
It was
shows.
either a Walmart parking lot or a Waffle House parking lot, one or the other.
Yeah, they were,
No, it started in the Walmart parking lot and then it just transfers to the Waffle House parking lot.
yeah, they were not. NWA
Well-
was a dead thing at that point.
you know what I
That's
can
normal.
say? It ain't paradise until you fuck up each other in a parking lot, right? I mean, I think it's how the song goes, right?
So you can't fist fight in the Waffle House parking lot.
There you go.
So he did that for a
Inspirational
few
quote.
years. And then in 1998, he opens his own school, the ZZW Wrestling Academy. Him, New Jersey and Delaware mainstay in the independent scene, John Dahmer, who would become the head trainer for the academy and a multiple times ZZW tag team champion in his tag team VD. And a good friend of mine, Tom Carter, Reckless Youth.
Big shout out to Reckless Youth.
They trained
Reckless Youth.
the first trainees of the Wrestling Academy, which would be ZZW legends like Lobo, Justice Payne, TCK, and Nick fucking Gage, and Rick fucking Blade.
I was gonna say, yeah, shout out to Rick Blade too. Yeah,
Mhm.
Rick Blade, who is still wrestling. So is
That's-
Nick Gage.
yeah.
Yeah, Rick Blade still wrestles for Johnny Cashmere's company, SOS. Shout out to them.
Oh no shit.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh, that's
He
awesome.
is, yeah. Cashmere brought him out of retirement.
Beautiful. Love it.
And they did shows in the original Combat Zone in Mantua, New Jersey. They would do shows in '99 with other East Coast independent wrestlers like Price and Quicksilver and Billy Baja. Guys who didn't really become names, but in the early '90s in that area, the DMV, Philadelphia area, they were names. Guys like Mr. Meaner. Yeah. And
Didn't Quicksilver do some stuff in Chikara?
different Quicksilver.
Oh. Huh. Okay.
The Quicksilver
in
you're
Marvel.
thinking of
In
is
the movies.
the Quicksilver you're thinking of is the one that came from LA.
Oh, okay. So he came out there with like Excalibur and
Yeah, he
all
came
those
out there
things.
with he was the Quicksilver that tag teamed with Scorpio Sky.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, so different Quicksilver. That Quicksilver that wrestled for ZZW also wrestled as White Lotus.
Oh, I remember seeing stuff with White Lotus. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then they kind of made some noise with the deathmatch stuff through 99 and 2000, and then got their big break in 2001 when they got linked up with Japan's deathmatch wrestling company.
Yeah, they did.
And this is where shit really gets wild, and that's
Yeah.
Big Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we're gonna go a little nuts here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
I just recently got introduced to Big Japan. Yeah, it's
Dude, the Big Japan stuff is fucked.
pretty
It's-
fucking wild.
It's awesome. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Dude, there was a big storyline in like 2000, 2001 between the two companies. This is who came from Combat Zone to Big Japan. Some of them were Wife Beater, Nick Gage, Trent Asted, Justice Payne, Johnny Cashmere, Nate Hatred, Ruckus, Nick Burke, and John Zandig. We're all over in Japan for this feud.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fucking wild.
yes. There's a very famous match. I legit don't know if this match is even on YouTube anymore fully. It is a tag team match. Let me see if I can. And it is a
Is that because it's too violent?
yeah. There's legit just a highlight video, and
No.
it is Zandig and Nick Gage versus Jun Kasai, the Crazy Monkey.
And-
Who this is where the Big
Uh-huh.
Japan thing started, because Jun Kasai, who was a Big Japan original, he came up here to the States in early '99 and was part of John Zandig's Big Deals, a phenomenal fucking heel faction that
I love it.
ran rampage over ZZW. But the tag team match I'm talking about is Zandig and Nick Gage versus Jun Kansai and Mitsuhiro Matsunaga.
Matsunaga.
Oh, Christ.
And they burned
I fucking
the
love that match.
city of Japan, the country of Japan, down. This is a match that is outside in a parking lot somewhere in Japan. There's cars everywhere. Things get lit on fire. It is probably the most wild thing ever. At one point, Matsuhiro Matsunaga literally ties John Zandig to the bumper of a car with a rope and drags
He
him,
sure did.
drives him through broken glass through this parking lot.
Did Dude, Japan's different, bro.
It's
Yes.
Like they are just fucking different.
Yeah.
That it's different. That's different.
Dude,
Yeah.
I know about some of the stuff with the big Japan CZW stuff. I didn't know about that. That's
Oh,
fucking
no. If you can
crazy.
find that full
Oh yeah,
match,
that match was amazing.
I need to see that. I
Did-
need
Yeah.
to see that match so bad.
Wait a minute. They totally took that from like a Fern Gagne like match, right? I remember seeing that like years ago in the AWA, right?
we're gone. You wish you came up with something
AWA.
that also.
Oh yeah, brother. Yeah, that totally. They were doing that shit all the time.
Vern Gagne dragged Nick Bockwinkel behind his fucking Cadillac down those
You
down the
you
fucking
scum
roads.
bitch! You're gonna
all through
fucking learn.
Minneapolis, all through downtown Minneapolis, just dragging him down the fucking street.
Curb
So
stops him.
Curb stops him.
Oh
I
my
can take the bruiser, the crusher over, like drinking beer, like oh Christ, oh goddamn.
And it was also during this time we got the debut in ZZW to a kid who would become the king of Philadelphia and make a mainstay in not only ZZW but in Big Japan, and that is a one Trent Acid, who is a multiple time ZZW junior heavyweight and tag team champion, and a multiple time Big Japan junior heavyweight and tag team champion with his tag team partner, one half of the other half of Backseat Boys, Johnny Cashmere.
I love the Backseat Boys.
It's fucking phenomenal.
I mean, I'm not even a CCW guy. Like, I knew who the Backseat Boys was. I remember seeing them in Ring of Honor and stuff.
Yeah, they ran all over the East Coast with professional wrestling. Actually, after a falling out with John Zandig, they owned their own company.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's right. They did run a company for a little bit.
Pro Wrestling Unplugged.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. Pro Wrestling Unplugged. Wow.
Yeah.
That just unlocked a weird little door in my brain. Like, oh shit, that did happen. That's crazy.
I'm only bringing it up because I watched Pro Wrestling Unplugged versus JCW like War Games match the other day.
Oh no shit.
Because they had a storyline with the Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Ooh.
Oh, dude, you gotta
please
send me that. I have to see that,
Please.
dude. That's
It's
awesome.
phenomenal. Yes.
I just have to say this. I absolutely love the dynamic with you three. Just like, oh, wait a minute, you did that. Like, oh, send me that. Send me that.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, yeah.
wonderful.
Oh yeah, dude.
We're gonna have a nice like playlist after this. It's gonna be good times.
Dude,
Good times to be
that's
had, Mo.
that's perfect. Put together a fucking YouTube playlist and put it in the tags of this video later.
Oh, that's
That
a
would-
that's a great that's
Yeah.
a good idea.
I like that idea.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's one thing in here from the Big Japan thing. There was a match between Beater and Ryuji Yamakawa,
Yes.
where Wife Beater ended this guy's
Mm-hmm.
career.
Yeah. I wasn't going to bring that up, but that was pretty much one of the ends.
Like legit.
Like,
yeah,
like
no,
legit.
Yeah.
He did a
Oh,
move to him
fuck.
from the off the ring apron through a table, and the
They
table
missed it,
didn't-
and it was just, yeah.
He
Oh,
he
shit.
tried to go through the table and missed it, and like broke his neck.
Yeah, that was one of the. And Big Japan guys thought it was on purpose. And
Yeah,
that was the start of the downfall of the company. Sadly, the last thing they did was a pay-per-view called Ante Up, which
Oh.
was a pay-per-view in December of 2001. And some of the matches that happened on this card were Jun Kansai defeated Madman Pondo, Wife Beater and Zandig in a four-way ZZW style 200 light tubes death match.
love it.
Nice.
You had Justice Payne continue his feud with his brother Nick Gage for the ZZW title.
Their feud was nuts.
Their feud off and on through the time they left the company.
Crazy.
Never seen two brothers want to kill each other so much.
So even worse than like Axel and Ian, like back in
Yeah.
SCW. Really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I
That-
thought that was pretty vicious. That fucking Taipei death match back in the day.
The difference is Ian and Axel had those three matches.
Right.
they fucking off and on feud for a decade.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. It was like they would team together, they would break up and feud. They'd get back together, they'd break up and feud. It was
Yeah.
this on again, off again war thing. It's kind of like if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were actually brothers and were in deathmatch wrestling.
Yeah.
It's that
Which
it's
we
that
will
type of
Okay.
dynamic.
That
We will
makes sense.
speak about a situation that is a butterfly effect that actually affects those two.
Oh, okay.
A reason why they got into the States in the first place.
Because of Combat Zone Wrestling.
If it
Wow.
wasn't for CZW, we would not have gotten Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the States.
Yeah,
That's so
because
crazy
they-
to think of.
That's so crazy. And that's the thing I think that's the most fascinating thing to me. And I know you're going to talk about this, but like, there's just so many guys and talent that actually worked in CCW that is
Yeah.
so relevant today that I don't think people really realize unless you're
Oh,
a true diehard wrestling fan.
Two former AEW world champions wrestled in Combat Zone Wrestling. Swerve Strickland
Yeah.
and MJF.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is crazy to
Right there.
think. Like, it's like MJF was in CCW. Yes, yes, he was.
Yeah, right before he got signed. Yeah,
That's how I found MJF was ZZW and his cocky ass attitude.
Yeah,
me too.
Wow.
me too.
That dude's always been a dick.
And then he showed up at that first like
He's
press
really
conference
fucking
thing, and he showed up at that first press conference thing, and I was just like, the fucking rich kid from Combat Zone.
Facts.
All right, let's see what we can do. Then he becomes the biggest thing in wrestling. It was crazy as fuck.
So, Mike, let me ask you this, man. So, like, you starting off here, obviously. So, you mentioned like kind of in the 2001 era. So, CCW at this point's been around like a couple years. I mean,
Yeah.
predominantly they're known for deathmatch wrestling, right? At this
Yes.
stage, like when is it kind of transition a little bit into like where it's just kind of like a I don't know if this is a fair comparison or not, but kind of like an ECW style product where yes, you do have the hardcore wrestling, but you do have all the other great type of pro wrestling action. Is that much later on, or
No, because the very first best of the best is 1 minute. I had it here.
I got you, Mike. Keep talking.
2001. So literally within that first 2 years, they had the very first. And anybody who does not know best of the best, it is a junior heavyweight or cruiserweight style tournament that featured some of the best high flying and slightly technical wrestlers on the independent scene at that day. The first best of the best featured guys like Amazing Red, Rick Blade, Japan's Winger.
Nice.
oh
You had both the Briscoe brothers,
Mm-hmm.
hell yeah,
which is a company, two guys, again, I found in ZZW when they were 17, 18 years old. I found ZZW or the Briscoe brothers when one of them couldn't even wrestle for ZZW.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a time because it was Mark, like Jay started, and like there was a time frame where Mark could not wrestle, but he was still involved in shows and stuff. I remember that from Ring of Honor.
We would
Yeah,
come
they-
out with them and their
Mhm.
manager, Dewey Donovan, the manager of champions in ZZW.
Do.
Fucking love the dude.
Discount Dewey Donovan.
Discount Dewey Donovan.
Yeah, guys like the the SATs were featured in that first tournament. Ruckus,
Ruckus Trent Acid was in it.
Juventud Guerrera,
Yeah, the Juice was in it. Yeah, because he did a run
Wow.
with them for a bit.
and this was the other great part about early ZZW. You had a lot of ECW guys
Mm-hmm.
who made appearances for ZZW in those early days, and some of them made appearances for ZZW in between them getting contracts with the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Tommy Dreamer and Tajiri. Tajiri, even though it is for only 45 minutes, is a former ZZW heavyweight champion.
That's
Really?
right. Yeah, he won the
Yes.
belt at one point. That's right.
Tajiri came in. So the storyline was Justice Pain was ZCW champion. Zandig was trying to get it off of him, so he hired a mercenary. Tajiri won the belt from Justice Pain. And what does Zandig do in his assholeness as a heel owner of the company? He attacks Tajiri later that night to win the belt for himself.
Doesn't he hit him? Doesn't he hit him with a mother effing bomb too?
Yes, he does. Off the
Okay,
third
wait a
row.
Okay,
Killed
I got what's a mother effing bomb?
So
It's
that was
basically a gorilla press slam
Falcon Zero slam.
off the top rope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like he would
okay.
literally just
Is that what that's always been called?
Well, that's what Zandig calls it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he would just call it mother effing bomb because he likes.
love it.
He loves the fuck word.
I fucking get it. I fucking love it.
He be like that.
He's my fucking kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's my boy John Zandig.
In other tournament, best of best tournaments, you would see guys like M Dog 20, California's own B-Boy, AJ Styles. You would see Sanjay Dutt, who again he's another one who I saw first in ZZW before TNA was even a thing.
Me too.
Yeah. He was the player from the Himalayas. For the people who in AEW who just see him as a manager who's a little cuckoo, one of the best fucking high flyers in pro wrestling.
Sanjay Dutt was a maniac.
Oh,
in
yeah.
his day.
He was a crazy bastard who the shit he did was wild.
I mean, I remember him from his early days in TNA. But I mean, even then, before he kind of got the gimmick and whatnot. I mean, he was a badass wrestler.
Yeah.
So who else we have? We have past winners. We have Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Sammy Callahan, Speedball Mike Bailey, Jonathan Gresham, Johnny Hungy, John Silver won it. Rich Swan, Kenta won the last one.
Yeah.
Like they've got some heavy fucking hitters in this.
You had UK legend Jody Fleisch come over here.
Jody Fleisch.
Oh wow.
He was doing some wild shit in CZW back then.
Innovator that doesn't get talked about here in the States. But Jody Fleisch as a high flyer, phenomenal.
Was he the one that did the 720 tornado DDT?
Yes. That made no fucking sense that a body could do that.
Oh yeah.
That shit crazy.
Yeah. But yeah. No, they focused themselves, and a lot of people give ZZW a lot of crap for being just a deathmatch company, but that's because that's all they see. That's the only thing people want to promote.
Right.
But no, they were an all-around company that focused on all types of wrestling. You had great technical wrestlers like Nick Burke.
Nick Burke was a monster. Drew Gulak.
Drew Gulak wrestled there for a short time. His brother ended up being a deathmatch wrestler, but could also technically wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had deathmatch dudes that could actually like wrestle like regular matches.
Yeah, like Greg Younger.
Ricky Shane Page.
Yeah. RSP.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
You had Combat. I do too. Ever since I saw him in TOD 15 coming out to Bad Rabbits, I was just like, oh, this is my fucking guy. Like right then and there. I'm like, he's got the best entrance song in the entire company. Like, fuck yeah, this is great. I'm so in. And he called himself Fat Hardy in an interview, and I fucking died.
Sold.
He's like, oh, that's all I wanted to be is a Fat Hardy boy.
And then 2002.
Don't we all though?
We get into 2002. You get into one of the ZCW's best years, but one of their most controversial years. Because you start late 2001, 2002, where they get a TV deal in Philadelphia, and they get a short-lived TV show called Fake You TV.
Mm-hmm.
So wait a minute, Fake You TV. So this is the name of their weekly show, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Where they would it was more of like they did highlights for their monthly shows. And they would sometimes do like pop-up shows. So it shows like they would replay stuff for fans who couldn't get to the events.
Huh.
Kind of like what ECW did with Hardcore TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very much a play off of that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he wanted to call it Fuck You TV, but they wouldn't let him. So he went with Fake You TV.
Probably. It was knowing Zandig, that's what happened.
Listen, John Zandig is a simple man with simple tastes.
Yeah.
Just let me call my show. Fuck you. Jesus.
In 2001, late 2001, we get they get to literally 2 months after ECW closes, by the way, they get to make their debut in the famous Viking Hall at Cage of Death 3.
Ah.
And they get to call the ECW arena now the ZZW arena.
Wow. I mean, let me ask you, how detrimental do you think that was to CCW? Because I mean, there's so many iconic memories from that arena to begin with, from the ECW. But I mean, CCW has its fair share of them as well, as I'm sure we're going to talk about.
Yeah, you saw a lot of the old ECW fans in that arena in those
Yeah.
early ZZW shows. Hat guy would be there. The guy with the long hair was always front row.
Yeah.
They very much took ZZW in. I was like, okay, ECW's gone. We need to take them in as our own company.
It's like, look, they're doing all the shit that ECW was doing in the beginning.
And then very much way overboard.
Yeah, and then just decided, let's just all gas, no brakes. Let's see what we can do.
Whiskey throttle.
And boy, did they. Let me tell you. There was also this whole thing where there was a war between 3 promotions.
I was just about to talk about the Philadelphia Wrestling War.
I knew you were going there, so I figured I'd set the ball on the tee for you.
So, first off, I'm going to start this whole segment of the show with one statement, and it's fuck you, Rob Black.
Fucking weird bastard.
We here at Cole TV, we fully support that statement and can reiterate it enough. Fuck you, Rob Black, you scum of the fucking earth, you piece of shit. Get fucked. Fuck
Oh,
you.
you don't even know the half of this shit this man's done.
Ooh.
I don't even know if I want to know, but fuck him.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring didn't touch on shit.
Yeah.
He is
And
done.
it goes very much into this Philadelphia War.
Yes.
So in late 2001, we get a guy who jumps from XPW, comes from the West Coast, and he joins ZZW, and he answers a challenge that Justice Payne, the heavyweight champion at that point, was, and it was the Messiah.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of rumors going around on why Messiah, jumped companies. Let it be known, he kind of had relations with Rob's wife at the time. But this is why you don't
didn't
marry
have
a porn
relations
star.
with his wife at the time? Like, she's a fucking porn star. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Do you have a pulse and a dick?
Then
you probably did.
Yes.
More than
And no
likely.
disrespect to Lizzie Borden. You're divorced from that son of a bitch now.
You came to your senses.
Lizzie Borden,
Served her
you're all
time
right
in
in my
hell.
book.
She served
to
her
the light.
time in hell.
Yes, she did.
She did.
So, going into the Philadelphia Wrestling War, ZZW is running the arena. XPW decides to come. Well, Rob gets in legal trouble. He has to sell the company. So, he sells it to the franchise. Shane Douglas.
Oh. So wait a minute,
And-
Shane Douglas owned XPW?
He did at one point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very, very briefly, but yes.
Yeah. Pretty much until it closed down the first time.
I don't want to run this fucking shit.
So he brings XPW to Philadelphia. And then you have Blue Meanie and his bitch of another woman I don't like,
God.
Jasmine St. Clair. You're a horrible human being also. I'm just shooting on people.
If you want to watch somebody bury Jasmine St. Clair, there's a snippet from a New Jack shoot.
I was going to talk to Blue Meanie shoot. He
Oh,
shits on her too.
Oh yeah, he buries the shit out of her. Yeah, obviously. But New Jack going off on her. Oh, you nasty bitch! You dirty rat bastard bitch! Just for like 5 minutes straight, it's the funniest thing you've ever seen.
Okay, I didn't think that's where you were going with that, bro. I thought you were talking about Backdoor Sluts 9.
Crotch Capers 3 and Naughty Nurses 2.
Yeah, there you go.
So
She's a porn star, folks, for those of you who don't know.
yeah, so she
I haven't
decides
figured that one out.
She decides she wants to run a wrestling company with financial help from her boyfriend at the time.
She's been in gangbangs. Why not? Yeah.
Sure.
So it was pretty much, and this is Blue Meaning's words. She wanted to become the American version of Lady Baba, Giant Baba's wife from All Japan.
Oh Christ!
Nah, you are not.
She
Mrs.
wanted to be
Baba.
the face of a company, but not do shit. So Blue Meanie runs a company called 3PW.
Mm-hmm.
Remember 3PW very well. Yep.
Yeah. And then you get the
And
start
they
of
ran
the,
out. They ran out of the arena too, right? 3PW.
Yes,
ran out
all
of the
these
arena.
companies ran out of the arena for a bit, and then you
Oh,
had
thank
Ring of Honor
God.
come in.
Oh, yeah,
And
'cause
Ring of
ROH
Honor,
started doing shit there too. Yeah.
they started doing shit. And then you had these relationships where XPW and 3P or XPW would do shows. Actually, they had no relationships because Raw Black and Shane Douglas are douchebags. But like ZZW and Ring of Honor, that's when they started building a relationship where they would do these double shots.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So it'd be like Ring of Honor
Nice.
at night, ZZW in the afternoon, or ZZW at night, Ring of Honor in the afternoon.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then, 3PW, another week in 3PW would do a show. And then another week in XPW would do a show. Until that piece of shit, Rob Black from jail, gives Shane Douglas the money to buy out the rights and own the lease to be the only show in town for the arena. So
Sounds like something that piece of shit would do.
ZZW has to move back to Delaware and Jersey and other places in Philadelphia, along with 3PW. Sadly, well, not really sadly, 3PW did not last that long. Legit 7-8 months. Because Mrs. Sinclair would no-show shows, and she usually was the one with the money. So wrestlers were not getting paid.
The thing I would say about 3PW that I do remember of how I knew about them is I bought some of their DVDs because I remember, and this is me showing my fucking age. Like I remember picking them up in Sam Goody. Like they had them readily available in Sam Goody with like all the other wrestling stuff. So I remember picking some of them up then.
Yeah, I mean,
Loved me some
product
Sam
in the
Goody back
ring
in
was
the
not
day.
bad for
Good
3PW,
times.
but behind the scenes, Jocelyn Square's a bitch and would never show up, and
She's a
guys
bitch.
wouldn't get paid, which ruined Blue Meanie's career for a very long time.
Oh yeah. Dude, shout
But
out
me-
to Blue Meanie, man. Just recently got
me-
married this year, and
He's doing well for
awesome
himself.
honeymoon in Dublin. We love you, Blue Meanie.
Shout out to Brian Harmon. Yeah,
I would
Thank
do
God.
anything. I would do anything for Blue Meanie.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Great
I'd
man.
do anything to dance with Blue Mini.
Well, friend of ours, Brian Malone, has got to work with fucking Blue Meanie.
I was gonna say.
Shout out to the
Oh,
Kingpin.
cool.
Yeah. And then around this time, ZZW decides to work with a company from actually y'all's necks of the woods.
Oh God, here we go.
IWA Mid-South.
I knew that was coming.
Oh hell yeah, brother!
Hey, this shit was amazing.
Fucking hot dog and handshake Ian Rotten. Let's go, baby.
Fucking yeah. A hot dog, a handshake, and hepatitis. Let's go.
Dude,
All right.
I found out something very interesting like a month or two ago, just like scrolling through shit, and I forgot about. Chuck Taylor was the IWA Mid-South World Champion on multiple occasions.
Yeah, 3 times.
Kentucky gentleman, baby.
And he was like, the most I ever got paid for a show was $50.
Yeah.
I was the
Unbelievable.
world champion.
I can't believe he got 50. Shit.
Well, probably because he held the belt.
That and the hot dog.
Yeah.
Hot
And thankfully,
dogs and
not
Mountain Dew.
hepatitis.
Possibly the hepatitis. We don't know yet.
You got 2 hot dogs now. Come on.
He got-
And ketchup and mustard.
Oh, you're carrying my
You're right, you're
belt.
right.
There you
All-
go.
Everything on it, all the works.
Take a 2-liter Mountain Dew and let my kid kick you in the balls.
No, it's not even Mountain Dew, dude. It's Mountain Lightning.
Probably. Facts.
Dr. Thunder, brother.
Dr. Thunder, brother. That's what we're doing here.
So,
Don't fucking knock it till you try it, people. Some good
Hell
shit.
yeah. Hell yeah.
but before Ian Ron was a complete douche, that division angle with IWA Mid-South and ZZW was phenomenal.
What's the time frame on this, by the way, Mike, when this happened?
This was
2003.
2002.
So this is around that era, too, where you got, like, Punk and Chris
Punk
Hero
and-
and stuff.
Yeah, Punk
Yeah,
and Hero,
yeah.
Colt
They were
Cabana
doing that.
was
Punk
there.
had one shot in ZZW, and it did not go well, and he never showed up in ZZW again.
Yeah.
Damn.
I forget. Who was he? Who did he go
It was
against?
Justice Payne, and when Justice Payne was doing those open challenges,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
he showed up to answer a challenge, and the match was the shits.
Oh.
Yeah, it did not go well.
This is the drizzling shits, pal.
And he was like, and then him and Zandig got in an argument. Like, well, I've seen
It's doing all right.
Justice
AJ.
Payne have a bunch of great matches. They might have been your fault. And CM Punk's like, no, you might want to figure out what's going on with your champ. And this was after. Oh, I didn't talk about the one thing that happened during the XPW situation. Was Justice Payne jumped ship at one point.
Oh, yeah.
To
He went to
XPW?
XPW. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And what's fucked up about this, and this is where I'm going to rewind, and we're going to talk about some fucked up shit from Raw Black. So Messiah, during this time, of course, has an issue with Raw Black. Goes back home to California. He's at his home in California. His girlfriend is leaving. She has the door open. Two guys come walking into his house. He thinks they're with her. She leaves and they're still there. He's confused. Next thing he knows, he's getting attacked. Two guys attack Billy Welsh, and they try to kill him. I hope we don't get banned from that.
He tried to unalive him. Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
And all they can do is take the poor man's thumb.
And this is why. Okay, if I remember what they said in the Dark Side of the Ring, wasn't he playing fucking GameCube?
He was playing video games when they attacked him.
How dare
Not the
you.
GameCube.
I know,
And,
right?
and took the man's thumb in the middle of a GameCube game. Like,
And I
I'd be
remember
so
this
fucking
so
oh,
I remember this
Oh
so
my God.
vividly because not
Not
only
during
was I
Day of Reckoning.
Yes.
Day of Reckoning.
I was waiting for it.
I remember this so vividly because not only was I a fan at this time, but this ended up on America's Most Wanted.
Oh,
it did.
yeah.
So I remember seeing that episode at my grandparents' house, like Messiah's,
I know that guy.
yeah. So again, fuck Raw Black.
Fuck Rob Black.
1000%.
Yeah, the IWA Mid-South Invasion introduced the ZZW crowd to guys like Too Tough Tony,
Tony.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
Webb, who has my
Yeah.
second favorite entrance in
Indianapolis' own, baby.
Shout
has
out
my
to the
second
boy.
favorite entrance in independent wrestling history. Number one being Sick Nick Commando, because there's nothing like listening to Last Resort by POD or by Papa Roach in the ECW arena.
With the dude
Fuck
that has
yeah.
sick written backwards on his forehead.
I will
Hell yeah.
actually go on record on saying you can put a Last Resort pop against the Sandman, Enter the Sandman pop.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
It
Yeah.
Yeah.
started to rival
Yeah.
Sandman's pops after a while.
Them motherfuckers loved Sick Nick Mondo.
You-
Well, he's another one of those guys I'd say transcended because I mean I wasn't watching Deathmatch or CCW back in the day. I knew who he was, though. I heard the name though.
Yeah.
You heard the name talked about in wrestling circles.
Yeah, and it's because he had that high flying. He did deathmatch wrestling, but he was super high flyer like Sabu. He had the baggy pants, and he wasn't all there in the head.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He took
he has a few documentaries out that he did.
Yeah.
He's a movie director now, producer.
Oh, that's awesome.
That he does a few documentaries where he talks about guys who do deathmatch wrestling aren't always there in the head, and it usually comes from like childhood trauma or like something happened. Like he talks about a wife beater, a guy we talked about earlier. The reason wife beater got into deathmatch wrestling is because he was a Gulf War Marine.
Oh
and
shit!
He was dealing with PTSD from seeing what he saw in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Oh shit! Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a Marine.
Oh shit!
Got home and jumped right into deathmatch wrestling.
I need to beat the fuck out of people
What
with
better way
weapons.
to combat PTSD? I mean, geez.
Yeah.
Let me legally beat the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is going to help.
Yeah, this is gonna help out a lot.
This is way better than therapy that the PA provides me. Hell yeah.
It's cheaper.
Psychiatrists are fucking quacks, man.
Yeah, pretty much. After the invasion angle, because that invasion angle was so cool because you had the Zandig versus IWA Mid-South thing or the ZZW versus IWA Mid-South thing, but you also had John Zandig dealing with a feud within his company with a faction that I very much loved as a kid, and that's the High Five.
Shout out to the High Five.
The top wrestling heel faction. And this is where, midway through 2002, Messiah turned heel, and he surrounded himself with some of the best heels in the company as the Backseat Boys and B-Boy, and he got Nate Hatred to turn on his tag team partner, Nick Gage, and break up the Hate Club, and they collected the High Five.
Mike, hey, let me ask you something real quick. Is this one of the matches you sent me? Like, was that Cage of Death where it was like the fallout between those groups?
Yeah.
Were we watching this? We were watching this last night, right? Yeah.
Yes, because New Jack shows up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was the other thing. So you
That
have a
shit was
lot of
great.
ECW guys who like talk about how great Zandig was and like how they loved working with him, like a Dreamer or like a Super Crazy or like a Tajiri. And then you have someone like New Jack who pretty much was like, yeah, that was a money grab.
I'm gonna come in here, get paid, act stupid. Like,
Because he literally did 2 matches. He did that, he turned on Zandig, and then he had a match with Zandig, and he was out.
I gotta ask you this, man. Watching that, like, one of the things that impressed me, it was the construction of the fucking cage of like that. Like, how does it like it wasn't wonky? I mean, it was professional fucking looking. Okay, is this because Zandig was a construction guy? Is that why
it's literally he got his construction working buddies to create this thing, and then they told fans to bring weapons.
Okay, now it makes sense. Now this all makes sense.
Wow.
Yes,
that was one of the first things I thought. Like, wow, this is so well constructed. How the fuck did they
used
do
his
this?
9 to 5 to create one of the most goddamn dangerous things in the world.
Yeah, that's why that
It's
cage is so
gorgeous.
fucking
Love that shit.
convoluted and wild looking and all
And the little
different, like,
scaffold
layers
thing and
and
shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, he used his construction work to create a crazy
Listen,
shit.
Wow.
What up,
Listen,
B-roll?
all you
'cause
normal
true
wrestling
story.
No, I'm good.
I was gonna say, just true story. The only CZW match I've actually ever watched was one of those matches. I think they were going up against like Ring of Honor. Is that right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about that here in a few.
Yeah, we're
Sure.
gonna talk about that Cage of Death here soon. Because
But I just was blown away by the construction of this thing too. Like,
Yeah,
it's crazy to think too. It's like, people talk, oh, the Sandman does construction, and he put together that fucking rinky-dink fucking like scaffold in ECW. I'm sorry, I love the Sandman, but he ain't got a goddamn thing on John Sandig and his construction ability.
Just imagining Sandman putting up scaffolding. Yeah,
this guy's out of here. Get me up here.
Give me my smokes.
The Cage of Death
It just ends up looking like origami.
Oh Christ!
True story.
The Cage of Death. A Cage of Death match is what I said. Talk about when everyone wanted to talk about that Adam Page Swerve Strickland match and how violent it was. I was like, I've seen Swerve go way worse than a Cage of Death in New Jersey at a skate rink.
Yeah.
I saw that dude almost die in a triple threat Cage of Death match. Like, that wasn't that hardcore.
I watched Nick Gage die.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, that was a TOD.
But
Still, like,
Which we haven't even gone into that tournament yet.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to TOD yet. Like,
which started in 01. But we will talk about that because it deserves a bigger segment because it is. Was at one point the biggest deathmatch tournament in the world. I don't really want to know if you want to say that nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I feel like GCW's kind of taken over with
Yeah.
Tournament of Survival.
Yeah.
Like, because it wasn't until someone mentioned it in our group chat that I realized that TOD was happening. I was like, oh yeah, that's
oh shit, that is like happening soon.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
well, it did
I
happen.
can't believe Mickey won this year. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it did
she
happen.
did. Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, she did. I was. Oh my god. I
Yeah.
could talk way too many things about that woman.
Ooh,
So many.
Yeah, I love
I
Mickey
gotta-
Knuckles.
Yeah, shout out to
Yes.
So
Love you, Mickey.
we're gonna be now talking, sadly, about another important show, but the sad reason this show is now a thing, and that is Down with the Sickness.
Okay.
And a guy who went by the name Chris Cash. So Chris Cash was a kid who grew up with Zandig's kids. Like, Zandig's dad and his dad were childhood best friends. Their kids grew up together. They went to the wrestling shows. While Zandig's son was like, I'll do the construction thing. Chris Cash and there's another guy who went by GQ was like, we want to do this wrestling thing. And they debuted in 2002 as a tag team called New School. And they were all over the place, high flyers. They did some deathmatch stuff. They had a short-lived tag team. Chris Cash went on to do great things. GQ retired. But he had phenomenal singles matches with the likes of Joker, guys like Nick Gage, guys like Ruckus and Sabian. JC Bailey. He was part of a faction with JC Bailey that included Sexy Eddie and Spider-Nate Webb and a few others. They all collectively held the ZCW tag team titles where they would just freebird it.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. Sadly, in 2005, we lost Chris Cash to a motorcycle accident.
Oh wow.
So John Zandig, being the great human being that he was or is, month after he died, created an event called Down with the Sickness because that was Chris Cash's theme song, Down with the Sickness by Disturbed.
Yeah.
So the event was, okay, we're going to raise money for Chris Cash's family.
Mm-hmm.
And every year until DJ Hyde kind of fucked up the tradition, they would do a ladder match and a battle royal because the ladder match was Chris Cash's bread and butter. He had many great ladder matches with GQ, with a famous one with a guy named Joker.
Yeah.
It
The one with
just-
Joker. The one with Joker's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joker is another unsung talent who
Love
not only a great deathmatch wrestler, but went and protected his country and became an army soldier in between his two stints with the CZW.
Right.
Yeah, great man. So they would do, and then in between matches, they would have guys talk about the great moments they had with Chris.
Mhm.
It was always one of my favorite shows because I
Yeah.
was a huge fan of Chris. So
Oh yeah. Chris was incredible. Like anybody out there watching that doesn't know the name Chris Cash, just do yourself a service.
was on his way to be a mega star on the independent wrestling scene.
Honestly, he could have went to WWE and been huge.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause he
around the
was-
era of like Paul London and Brian Kendrick and like
Oh wow.
dudes like that, like he could have done something.
Yeah, he
Very
was.
talented kid.
Yeah, he was. John Dahmer said he was like that top-notch student that he helped train when it comes to athletics wise. That the kid just got it right then and there.
He had that intangible thing that like stars would have, like just that it factor kind of thing.
Yeah. So, and then we get into 2006. And the big thing that comes out of 2006 is a rivalry between Ring of Honor.
Yes. Now this is where I really kind of like. This is where I myself, because I love that rivalry. I mean, I think even if you look at PWI that year, I think their feud was in the top 3, like the finish for like feud of the year. I mean, this thing was huge, man, going back and forth between these companies. Like, honestly, you could take notes. This is how you should do an interpromotional rivalry.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. And the funny thing is, this rivalry stemmed from an in Ring of Honor rivalry. It wasn't for two motherfuckers that hated each other. And that's Chris Hero and Bryan Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a match in that feud between Chris Hero and another guy that absolutely hates his guts, and one of my favorite matches in that entire feud, and that is Eddie Kingston and Chris Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that leads big into the Cage of Survival. What happens in that?
Yeah, the Cage of Death match. Yeah.
COD. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole rivalry started with, at the time, Chris Hero, who was working with Ring of Honor, as one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, with Claudio Castagnoli, another ZZW and ROH alumni.
The Kings of Wrestling, man.
Yeah.
The Kings of Wrestling.
Which to me, it is wild to look back at Claudio during this time frame. Like people won't. He had hair. People won't recognize him. You'll be like, "What the fuck?" He come out in like that fucking $1 million man suit and shit. It was like,
yeah, dude.
So stupid.
I love it. It's like, who's this weird long hair fuck that has Cesaro's fucking moveset? Oh wait, that's him.
That's him. I just remember the look on his face too. He had this like skeezy, like his eyes were closed, his like tongue. He was licking his lips all the time.
Dude, CZW Claudio Castagnoli is who I strive. That's who I strive to be as a human. That level of not give a fuck.
Yeah. So this whole rivalry started with Chris Hero. So Ring of Honor and ZZW had a double shot. ZZW had the early show. And after a tag match, where Claudio and Chris defended their tag team titles against Blackout, Ruckus, and Sabian, he goes on mic and says, "We have the early show here because, of course, you need to put out the red carpet for a company like Ring of Honor because they think they're better than everyone and they think they deserve all this." And then he starts running down Bryan Danielson, who's the world champion at that time, talking about how he can out-wrestle Bryan Danielson. And, he's proved it hundreds of times.
I love you, Chris Hero, but no.
Yeah.
He's the greatest wrestler walking the planet of Earth. How dare you?
And they start challenging each other. And then it just became these two companies just invaded each other's shows for like
Yeah.
pretty
I
much
can remember like an
6
ROH
months.
show. Yeah, I remember an ROH show where Sandig showed up, and I think Necro Butcher showed up too.
Yeah.
And when they're like a tag match, Mike, or something, they did at one of the shows where it was like,
Yeah.
like
It was
Necro and Hero against like Joe and like somebody or something like
Joe
that.
and I think Whitmer.
Yeah, BJ Whitmer. Yeah,
BJ
that's
Whitmer.
it. Yeah.
There was wasn't there another like CZW tag match where it was Joe and Homicide?
Yes. And they hated each other.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Homicide wanted to fucking kill Samoa Joe.
What I loved about that though, there's so many stories they told out of that rivalry, like just like how they intertwined the stuff they had going on in CCW, the stuff they had going on in Ring of Honor, and all put it together. Like, and that climax is incredible, which I know you're going to talk about.
Yes, and you introduce guys like Nigel McGuinness, got into this shit. Guys like Jimmy Jacobs. It was just like you intertwined every member of the roster at some point, just like would be in this feud. And yes, it did culminate in a goddamn King of Death match or Cage of Death.
Yeah.
Run down the teams on that real quick.
Well, the way it went down though, because it was like there was people who ended up being in it, and it was just like because I remember this match very vividly because it starts off with Samoa Joe and Claudio, and then of course they have James J. Dillon there does the coin toss, and of course CCW wins because they're being portrayed as like the heels or whatever, And then you get, I believe Chris Hero was the second one to come out to kind of give a 2-on-1 advantage. And then you get Danielson that comes out. And at the time, Danielson and Joe were kind of like feuding and stuff. And Danielson ends up, after wiping out CCW guys, ends up turning on fucking Joe and just like beats the shit out of him pretty much. And Joe gets taken out of the match and Danielson walks out on the match. So it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You also had Ace Steel repping.
Ace Steel, and
Ring of Honor in the Second City
BJ
Saints.
Whitmer, right?
Eddie Kingston, and that's my favorite part.
That's the big surprise because it's like CCW's beating the shit. Because also in Adam Pearce in this match too, right?
Yeah,
like so Ring of Honor at this point, all you've got's Adam Pearce, BJ Whitmer, and Ace Steel, while they're getting the shit beat out of them from like CCW, which was like Chris Hero, Claudio. You got Spider Nate Webb that was in this, and Necro Butcher, and then it's like Chris Hero's doing. And by the way, Chris Hero at this time frame too, the massive heel heat he was getting, dude.
Phenomenal.
Holy shit! Oh,
and had one of the that was the HG Net guy. Chris Hero's theme song during the HG Net times. Chris is Awesome by Virus.
Yeah.
Phenomenal fucking theme song.
Oh, that was a great mix on that. Yeah. But like you guys are saying, and then like Chris Hero does his thing. He's on the mic, and he's like, I did the unthinkable. And then he says, I got the Mad King. And it's like, holy fuck. Because I mean, those two guys hated each other.
Not even the Mad King. He was the King of Diamonds.
Oh, King of Diamonds. That's right. That's right. Yeah, King of Diamonds. Yeah.
Some people have an ace in their hole. I have a king
of, yeah.
Because he talks about how he sadly has to work with the devil, a man he fucking hates.
Yep.
The King of Diamonds.
Let me ask you guys this as a question, because like from my perspective as an outsider, like I knew of Ring of Honor. This is kind of my introduction to CCW at the time. As a CCW fan, like when this is happening, when that happens, that moment happens, are you like, what the fuck? Are you serious?
Yes. Because there's legitimate like heat between these two at this time.
Oh yeah.
Like what would you compare that to today? Would you say that's like if Drew and Punk were teaming up or something? Like, I mean, I don't even think their rivalry really comes near as close as Drew and Punk come near to them.
No, because you can tell they're friends still. But at this time, Chris Hero and Eddie Kingston couldn't even be in the same locker room.
Yeah.
They had legit backstage heat.
This is like if Punk and Jack Perry were a tag
Yeah.
team
Yeah,
in AEW.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
probably
This
the
is like
thing.
a Jack Perry CM Punk thing, or like a Punk Young Bucks thing. Like
Around
Yeah.
around this time, Eddie Kingston got banned for life from PWG for breaking a microphone over Chris Hero's head
Yeah.
in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
And let me ask you guys this: would you say we all know Love Eddie, like know his rivalries? Would you say the man he probably hates the most in this world would be Chris Hero?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There you
1000%.
go. That's all you need to know, right there, folks.
Yeah. No, that I legitimately, I think there's a reason we haven't seen Chris Hero in AEW, and I think
He
he's
works
the
back.
main-
He works backstage.
Oh, he does work
Oh, does he?
backstage.
He's been working backstage for
Oh.
like
Yeah.
like
Oh,
6,
that's
7 months now.
right. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
while
because
Eddie's
he's
been
in
out
the
with an
all-
injury,
Oh, Eddie's
in the
gone.
Well,
All-In
actually,
video.
no, not even. He's in the All Out video where CM Punk
yep.
gripped up Jack Perry
oh
because
yeah,
he turns around and is like, "What the fuck did I just see?"
yeah.
Like,
So yeah,
he's been in the company for a
but
minute.
at this point they hated each other. I don't know if they've like get nixed things, but yeah,
I think they're just kind of on a "Hey, how's it going?" kind of.
Yeah.
probably
Makes sense.
because it very much was. Yeah, a lot of shit happened behind the scenes.
There was one point they had to work together when they were like in their fucking like hatred of each other. They would literally walk up to each other, stare at each other. One of them would smack the other as hard as they could. The other one would give them a receipt, and they'd go, "All right," and then just go to the ring. Like insane. Some like fucking Inoki type shit.
But then you get to the finish of this match. So like Ring of Honor is getting beat down, and then who comes to save the day, Mike?
Homicide.
Let's fucking go.
187,
Fucking
baby.
love this bastard. 5150.
Hell
And
yeah.
then, well,
Homicide.
Love
And
me
then-
some Baby New Jack.
Baby New Jack.
I've always called him Baby
Oh,
New Jack. He
no.
is Baby New Jack to me.
which is ironic
That's crazy.
because they've literally been in the business, the
Oh my
business,
god.
the same amount of time.
I was gonna
Is
say,
that
yeah.
right? Homicide's
Yeah.
wrestled that.
Homicide's
fucking long?
been wrestling since '94.
God
Yeah.
damn. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
fun story about Homicide. In high school, phenomenal football player. Had college scholarships, but his mom got sick. So he turned it down so he can take care of his mom. And then once she got once she got better, he was like, I got to figure out what to do with my life. So he became a pro wrestler. He was this close to being on those championship for Miami teams.
Wow.
Oh, he was gonna be on like
Wow.
Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Wow.
He had a scholarship to play for the Miami Hurricanes.
That's insane.
God.
Yeah. I learned something.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's crazy. I did not know he's been wrestling
But
that
yeah,
long.
he
But
started.
still, though,
working
he's a
with-
smaller version of New Jack. I'm just saying. But
Yeah, but he
Love you,
started
Homicide.
working the New York scene in like 94, 95. And he was literally called 5150 because nobody was hiring a man called Homicide.
Fair.
wonder why. No.
So
Yeah, very fair.
he literally went as 5150 early in his career. Tag teamed with guys like Boogaloo. Shout out to Boogaloo, New York shit. Husky's looking up something.
Oh no, I'm just going through the Wikipedia. Go on.
So, and then in the mid to late 2000s, you got a lot of the old timers, the originals, had retired, left the company. Most of them retired. So you got this great influx of guys who I know. Husky's a huge fan of this, like late 2000s, early 2010s ZZW.
Yeah.
When you get guys like the Drake Youngers, the Masadas, the Danny Havocs,
Yeah.
Danny Havoc, Sam
Yeah.
Callahan, John
Callahans.
Moxley.
This is when Moxley and those guys.
yeah,
were there,
Moxley
right? Yeah.
shows up here in
Yes,
08.
sir.
This is
Yeah.
around my wheelhouse of what my CZW stuff too, for sure.
A lot of people.
Yeah. A lot
So
of people
I
from the
have
team.
that conversation all the time with guys who want to talk to ZZW and they want to talk this era, and my brain always goes to like let's talk 0102. You know, Signature
OG,
Monitor.
OG.
Yeah,
type shit.
Yeah.
I always have that issue. I actually had that issue with Husky the first time we started hanging out.
Oh yeah, he started talking about like the beginning of Combat Zone, and I was just like, I'm not that. I know who these people are, but I'm not that
Yeah.
versed in it.
Right.
So he took me to school a few times on TikTok Live. Like, oh no shit, wow, all right, let me look this up.
Well, let me ask you this: this era of CCW, as longtime fans, would you say this was like maybe their greatest era during this time frame?
I would say, like, the start of it would be the Ring of Honor
Yeah.
crossover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's when they started getting a lot more recognition.
Yeah.
And
If
a
you want
lot
to take
more
financials
eyes on it.
wise and whatnot, this era, that Ring of Honor, and that's mostly because, again, all those other companies outside of Ring of Honor and Chikara died.
Yeah, a lot of the indies fell off.
Yeah. Like, you know, XPW shut down, 3PW shut down, Pro Wrestling Unplugged shut down.
Like, I think like there was like Heartland Wrestling in Ohio. I think that
Yeah.
was still going.
And you had things like in the South and like in the East Coast and West Coast,
right
or on the West Coast. But you, like when it comes to that Philadelphia area, it was, you know, you had Ring of Honor, you had ZZW, you had Chikara.
Mm-hmm.
And all of those three companies worked together.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, but yeah. Yeah, and then you got guys like Eddie Kingston really comes into his his own in this company.
Yeah, with part of Blackout.
I fucking love Blackout. I was going to talk about some of the great factions in this era because factions, and you'll get this from the jump of the start of the ZZW. They really are. They do focus on factions a lot.
Yeah.
And they're very
I
good
love
at
that.
building factions and faction storylines.
It's kind of like the prime of New Japan.
Yeah.
Like prime New Japan. It's
okay.
a lot of faction based type stuff.
Or, you know, the faction wars in Attitude Eras, WWF.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. It was like everyone's in a faction, everyone's got someone backing them up. Because you had Blackout, who the manager, you know, of the label, not the stable. Fucking love that tagline.
Yeah.
Primo Robbie Marino, and you got
Robbie Illuminati.
fucking love him. He was managing the faction Blackout with Ruckus and Sabian and Joker and Eddie Kingston, and Jack Evans was there for a while.
Jack Evans was
Nice.
there.
Jack Evans, the white dude from Washington State, like hanging out with the thugs and like really digging into that whole white boy gangster thing. Was amazing.
He can break dance and he does the flippy shit. Let's let him in.
It works very well.
Like the fucker does like a fucking
He's like the cooler
630.
B-Rad from Malibu Most Wanted.
For real. It's like, yo, is that crazy white boy that was doing the fucking moonsaults off the cage with Teddy Hart? Yeah, fucking bring him in, dude. That dude's crazy.
And he did that in Ring of Honor. That dude legit killed himself a few times in the ZZW arena.
Oh my god.
There was multiple matches where I thought, okay, Jack Evans is dead. Like this ain't
dude. Too Cold Scorpio was a part of Blackout at one point.
Really?
Too Cold Scorpio showed up for 2 shows after Pro Wrestling Unplugged died. And did 2 shows. Yeah. He was a Pro Wrestling Unplugged champion.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He was like their main babyface. You had factions like Cult Fiction with Brain Damage and Masada and Lucky 13. Who else was in Cult Fiction? Oh, JC Bailey after he got out of jail.
Yeah.
That's another thing. There's a slight criminal past with a lot of ZZW wrestlers.
Yeah.
The hell, it happens.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're like going through like planning stuff to do, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, don't do that. That's 5 to 10."
1 to 5 is better than 5 to 10, brother.
We can't do that spot, brother.
Uh,
No.
You have in late 2009, you have a faction that literally spawned three guys who all have ended up in the WWE at some point, and that's the Switchblade Conspiracy.
Yeah.
A faction that consisted of John Moxley, Sami Callihan, and a young Joe Gacy.
Oh,
Very, very young Joe Gacy.
After he floundered with some tag teams, Alex, Sami Callihan and John Moxley was like, "We'll take you under our wing," and they became psychos.
So basically, all the crazy, creepy shit he's doing with Wyatt Six, he was doing that almost a decade earlier.
That's
more
amazing.
Wow.
in Combat Zone.
If you watch Combat Zone Wrestling in like 2017, 2016, you will see the yellow mask he wore in Schism in ZZW.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That is something he brought with him to
That's
to
badass.
NXT.
Yeah.
Like that was when he got on his own, and all the guys he was hanging out with had already been signed. They gave him a singles push where he kind of fucking took over the company as the second biggest heel.
Yeah.
He's another one. Other guys that mainstay in those later years. Matt Tremont,
Yeah. Bulldozer.
the Bulldozer, who was a guy who went to ZZW wrestling shows as a kid, and literally he has a story where he told his teachers in elementary school, "I'm going to be a ZZW wrestler." Like he bled the black and gold for the longest
awesome.
time.
That's so great.
And he pretty much helped run the company while Gage was in jail.
Right.
Gage did those few years. Tremont became the babyface of the company and was like, "I'm doing this for Nikki."
Wow.
Beautiful.
And then again, you guys got like a Matt. God, what's the tag team in AEW? 2.0. What are they called now?
Matt Menard.
Matt
and Andrew
Menard and-
Parker.
Yeah,
Jeff.
Daddy Magic.
Daddy Magic and
Yeah.
Cool Hand Ange. Yeah.
They had stints in ZZW and Chikara, and that's where I've never first seen them.
I remember them doing Chikara.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they were 2.0. Then, like we talked about earlier, Dark Order, Alex Reynolds and
Alex Reynolds. Yeah, the Beaver Boys. Yeah, John Silver.
the
and
Beaver
Alex-
Boys. Fucking phenomenal name.
I
The
love
Beaver
it.
Boys?
Yeah.
The Beaver Boys.
Yep.
Yeah.
I already fucking love it.
Because they did that AEW Unrestricted, and they were like, "What's with the Beaver Boys name?" And they're like, "I don't know. It was funny."
Yeah. They literally did it to pop themselves. Which was a funny-
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we're dumbasses. Oh,
Yeah. Shout out to Brian Myers for training them bastards.
yeah. Shout out to and trained MJF too. So fucking
Yeah.
shout out to Brian Myers.
Yeah, shout out to Brian Myers who like really helped sing in like that.
Oh yeah, Chris Statlander too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then in this late 2000s, early 2010, you have a sister company with ZZW called WSU,
Mm-hmm.
which is a women's company,
Oh, cool.
which
Yeah.
you can see the likes of Athena, Mia Yim,
Mercedes Martinez.
Mercedes Martinez wrestles. Mia Yim ends up becoming Adam Cole's manager.
Yeah. Young,
interesting.
because Mike sent me a picture about like a week or two ago
Yeah.
of like baby Adam Cole and baby Mia Yim in Combat Zone. And I'm like, Adam Cole looks like he's like 17 years old.
He's literally 18. He had literally just like stopped training, and ZZW was like the first company that hired him.
He is a child.
Yeah, young,
It is
clean
crazy.
shaven. Yeah, it was around the
crazy
time
looking.
he did that weird thing on SmackDown with the
Oh, with Punk, the Straight Edge Society, yeah, at the bar, yeah.
Oh, right.
yeah.
Forgot about that.
But yeah, but yeah, WSU becomes a thing, and then 2016, you have an exodus of talent,
Big time.
which starts with a referee. I don't know, Husky. Maybe you might know the information on why this fucking happened.
What, the Brett Lauderdale thing?
Yeah.
Let me.
Okay,
I'll look
so
into it real quick.
so out of this, is this how GCW's birth?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, before that, Zandig sells the company in 2009
Yep, to
Who
DJ
would-
Hyde.
to DJ Hyde. And
Hmm.
this is honestly the downfall of a lot of things ZZW did. Because DJ Hyde does not have the respect in the business that he thought he did.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
Guys like Ruckus and Sabian have both gone on shoe interviews and saying pretty much saying that we weren't gonna take orders from DJ Hyde. He was one of the boys. He didn't demand the respect that Zandig did.
Yeah.
And he pretty much showed it and Ruckus says this on a shoe interview, where he would allow other companies to come into ZZW shows to shoot promos for their events. And wrestlers. Yeah.
Like, why? Like,
Yeah.
why
He
would
would
you do
allow these wrestling companies to be like, yeah, I need some of your wrestlers for a show. They're going to be on for me. So I'm going to use your locker room to shoot. There's just like, and Zandig
No.
was one of those guys like, no, you are not going to push over my company. Like
Yeah,
Zandig
no.
deserved that. Like he demanded that respect of like, this is my house. You're going to fucking respect me.
Right.
DJ Hyde, he was kind of a pushover.
The doormat.
Very much a doormat.
1,000% a doormat.
And a lot of guys did not respect that. So a lot of them left. And then Brett Lauderdale leaves, and he buys Jersey Championship Wrestling and rebrands it GCW.
I completely forgot that his partner in buying JCW was Danny DeMonto.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's
DeMonto
what
helped
I'm actually going to talk about, an incident that happened.
Here we go. Looking it up here. One second, y'all. Wait, which incident are you talking about, Mike?
That's always
So
good. Which
there's an
incident are you talking?
That's how you
There's
know
an
it's
incident.
good.
There's an incident at Cage of Death 2017 where
Cage. Let me look up Cage of Death.
Yeah.
where
And let's just reiterate, you folks. Remember, if you're not sure about any of this, you could always Wikipedia that shit.
That's what I'm doing right now.
so
Gotta get one in.
Danny DeMonto a couple months before Cage of Death 17 goes up to DJ Hyde and he was like, "Hey, I want to mend the fences between us and GCW. Let's do an invasion angle." DJ Hyde tells him, "No, fuck Brett Lauderdale, fuck Nick Gage. I'm not working with them." What does Danny DeMonto do?
Tells Brett.
What? Calls Brett and it was like, "Hey, let's do this anyway." And he doesn't tell DJ Hyde.
Oh,
Hmm.
So in the middle of at the end of the main event of Cage of Death 17, Brett Lauderdale, Nick Gage, and a few other GCW wrestlers invade the cage and kick ZZW wrestlers' asses. DJ Hyde comes storming the fuck out. They all run, and cops are called.
oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a whole thing.
That's
So
fucking
did
wild.
anything come from that though? Did they end up working together or no?
No.
Petty. See, that's how you know the guy's dumb and petty. Like fucking okay, that's not what you want or whatever. But goddamn, like that's got people talking. That's money. Like just fucking bite. Just
You're
do business.
leaving money on the table.
Yeah. Instead of being a petty
Right.
motherfucker.
Yeah. Damn shame.
I bet that would have been epic too.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yes.
Put fucking Mance Warner in fucking Cage of Death, raising hell.
Please. Please.
Drinking light beers and headed to the pay window.
Baby. And the minds are here now, baby.
Freaks, baby.
So ZZW nowadays, I don't really watch the product. They took a long hiatus during the COVID situation, and they have rebranded.
So can I ask you a question? Who owns it now? Is it still DJ Hyde?
It's still DJ Hyde.
Oh wow.
Him and his wife. She does a lot of the day-to-day stuff. They've outside of Tournament Death, they have turned away from the deathmatch stuff.
Yeah, it's more. Well, actually, no. DJ's still runs it, and then there's two other guys, Steve Carroll and Dave Marquez. Run it.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this too. Like one thing I want, I'm impressed. Like because shit, at this point, let's see what they've been around for over 20 years and in business. So I mean, for them to kind of go through like these different eras of wrestling, and let's face facts, man. The 2000s into the 2010s was like really kind of I don't want to say a dark period, but it was a slow period for professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Some of the other guys who came through that like late 2010s DJ Hyde era, guys like Jordan Oliver.
Jordan Oliver.
All the members of 440.
Yeah, 440.
Eric Ryan and them.
Eric Ryan, Atticus Koger.
Yeah.
Ricky.
They were all. They all kind of dipped with Nick because Nick was their homie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went the GCW route. Swerve Strickland Shane Strickland was doing stuff back then. Yeah, guys like AR Fox.
Yeah. AR Fox, the God.
Ricochet.
Guys
Ricochet.
like U-Haul Nation.
Yeah, U-Haul Nation.
Yeah, Apollo Crews, yeah.
Yeah, you had. They deserve more respect than they do, in my opinion,
100%.
when it comes to wrestling all around. Because fans want to just focus on the deathmatch stuff, which I love the deathmatch stuff. But
something XLJ just said though, like when you think of the time they ran, it was kind of like on a main scale level, it was kind of like a dark time in the world of wrestling. But like, if you don't have this company like as CZW, like think of the boom we're in right now, and
right,
all these guys.
That's a great point.
All these guys were those guys for like a lot of them.
Yeah, it's crazy. Is like, especially the 2000s. Like on TV, there wasn't really much wrestling. Like it sucked.
Right.
Because WWE, but like. ZZW was part of like a huge influx of independent wrestling, where you had fucking companies everywhere.
Yeah, it's like them and Ring of Honor were kind of like the big like launching point for a lot of indies at that time.
Yeah, because you also have like PWGs, and then you have like HWA in the Midwest.
What's the one? I saw Drake Younger and Bryan Danielson wrestle there. IPW in Indianapolis.
IPW? Yeah, IPW was great.
Yeah, dude. I saw Bryan Danielson and Drake Younger and John Moxley and Jimmy Jacobs have a street fight where John Moxley powerbombed Jimmy Jacobs on the hood of somebody's car.
So
That's
fucking wild.
So ironically, I was watching a shoot interview that Sami Callihan had did, like right before he signed with WWE. And he talks about IPW and how IPW just became a feeder fed for ZZW because Zandig literally just stole all their talent.
Oh, 100%.
Left them high and dry.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like he found Drake, he found Scotty Vortex, and he found Nate Webb and was like, come here. Come here. You want to go through light tubes, buddy? Come on. Listen, I have this thing with the barbed wire spider web. It's gonna be fucking sick. Come on.
Okay, I got a question to ask here, if I may. All right. I gotta know, like, where at one point, and I don't know if CCW or if it's GCW, but when the fuck did doors become a thing?
That was that's more of a game changer thing.
So it's more of a game changer thing. Okay.
Yeah. Combat Zone is using like actual tables.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were much ZCW very much liked fire. That's a ZCW thing.
A lot of fire. A lot of fire, a lot of glass.
Yeah. A lot of light tube.
No wonder Punk hated it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't last an hour in the dojo that raised them.
Yeah. So as we get I do want to talk about some of the other wrestling talent, some of the forgotten talents here in not forgotten, but like some of the big names that came through the ZZW doors.
Oh yeah.
That a lot of people may not know of. Like I said earlier, AJ Styles, Alex Shelley, BJ Whitmer, the Blue Meanie, Brody Lee.
Wrestled there.
The Bulldozer.
Yeah, Chris Sabin wrestled there.
Chris Sabin, Chris Hero, Claudio, a deathmatch wrestling legends like Corporal Robinson.
Mm-hmm. Kurt Robinson.
El Generico.
Mm-hmm.
That's again, I did skip over a very important part where I talked about at the end of Zandig's run, a tournament in death happened. Well, let's talk about a Canadian company called IWS.
IWS, yeah.
So they were a Canadian company that did some deathmatch wrestling in the 90s and 2000s. So Zandig invites, I forgot which Cage of Death it was.
I think it was it 6?
Yes. He invites a few of these Canadians to do Tournament of Death. One being a guy named Sexy Eddie.
Yep.
Oh, shout out to Sexy Eddie.
At the end of one of Sexy Eddie's matches, he is squirting blood like a water fountain.
Got stabbed in the arm somehow.
And I mean, like, it does a curve with
Straight
his
up
blood.
School water fountain type beat. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
And
he drinks it.
to get a pop from the crowd, he turns his forearm in and drinks his own blood.
And I can see the look on these two faces because they're confused as shit. But I'm letting you know now, if this moment does not happen, we do not have two of the best wrestlers in the WWE right now.
That's crazy.
Because Zandig said, okay, these Canadians are fucking crazy. Let's invite a bunch of them over. And the two of the guys he invites over, there's like 8 of them he sends to come to the States. And 2 of them being a one Kevin Steen and a one El Generico to their first matches in the States.
Wow.
One of their first matches in the States is a crazy ass tag match. It's Steen and Generico versus Super Dragon and Excalibur.
Yes. 2 mainstays in California.
And it fucking goes. They're killing each other in this match. And this is like one of the first like tag matches that they did in Combat Zone. So like the crowd's like not sure who these dudes are. They're these 2 masked dudes from California. And then there's 2 Canadians, one of them who thinks he's a luchador, and another one who's just a dude in a cutoff shirt ready to beat ass.
And the funny thing is, this is part of another. This is ironically part of another faction's warfare, because they had Team ZZW versus Team Canada versus Team California.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and
And
they fought in the cage of death also. I think
they did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we don't have Sexy Eddie doing that that crazy shit with the blood. We don't get Kevin Steen and El Generico in Canada or into
What
the
a
States.
crazy ass butterfly effect that is.
And then we don't. We potentially don't get them in the WWE.
Insane.
So once again,
they
just
would-
to recap, if
'cause they
Sexy
would-
Eddie didn't drink his own blood, we don't get Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Well,
Because they went from ZZW to PWG and then PWG to Ring of Honor. And then it was the Ring of Honor stuff that got them in the WWE.
So yeah, if he doesn't
moral of the
drink his
story?
blood, those two dudes don't headline WrestleMania.
Yeah.
it's insane.
Moral of the story:
Fucking
be a
wild.
vampire. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, wow. That is the most mind-boggling thing to think of.
It's crazy shit.
Like you don't get Kevin Owens. You don't get. Okay, here's an even bigger one with that. If you don't have that, then you don't get Stone Cold Steve Austin come out of retirement. Think of that. Think of that. How you could that you talk about fucking 5 degree, 10 degrees or whatever, like fucking Kevin Bacon or whatever. It's like holy shit. Didn't think you'd have CCW and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the same sentence, but there you go, folks.
Another tag team that I have not brought up that was mainstays in the early days of ZZW from 91 to 2001 when one of them dies and one of them actually the Haas brothers, Charlie and his brother Russ.
Oh, they worked in CCW. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was actually Charlie's work in ZZW and ECWA that got them contracts to the WWE, and then Russ dies right before they go to OVW.
Yeah. And then he gets put with Shelton Benjamin.
Wow.
Yeah. Who else I have on this list? Guys like, again, we said Homicide. We Jack Evans, the Briscoes, Jay Lethal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Jay Lethal did some stuff there. Jonathan Gresham was in there. He
Yeah.
won Best of the Best one year. Ton
New
of
Jack, Nasawa, who's a Japanese. Nasawa would be very popular, very well known to the Juggalo Championship Wrestling fans as a
Yeah.
member of the JWO.
Yeah. I forgot they have their own NWO spinoff. I forgot about
Yeah. Tatanka has done 2 matches with ZZW.
What the fuck?
that. I forgot Tatanka did a run-in. Oh, it's so
Okay.
good.
He literally did 2 money grabs in 2003 to get like against 2 jobbers.
Let me get paid.
Like it was nothing major. Ironically, it was right before he got rehired by the WWE.
Oh, in
to do
WWE.
that-
Okay.
Right before that weird run with Matt Hardy.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Like I did. This is now a Queen's Court episode. Apparently, Tatanka. We're talking
No shit. All right.
Again, Tommy Dreamer, Teddy Hart. I hate saying that fucker's name.
Fuck
The
him.
Mad King, Eddie Kingston. Like so many people came through
Yeah.
combat, so dude, it's insane.
The Mama Lukes, Little Guido and Tony.
Fucking Tony Marinara, hey motherfucker. I love that guy.
Super Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy did shit there to Jerry.
Did
Didn't Jerry Lynn do some stuff there too?
Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn's a former ZZW champion.
That's right. He did win
Really?
the world title. Yeah.
Wow.
Todd
think it was-
Gordon.
Oh yeah, Todd Gordon showed up for a bit.
Ironically, he came up for a bit, and then right as Trent Acid and Johnny Cashmere was like, "Yeah, we want to start our own company." Todd Gordon became the GM for Pro Wrestling Unplugged.
Hey, I need a job.
Yeah.
I feel like a big chunk of this episode has been like wrestling bullshit, the facts of the day. Like, did you know that Jerry Lynn was a CZW
Yeah.
champion?
Yeah.
There's like so much randomness, but that's what I love about this with CCW.
And another
So,
guy,
I-
along with the likes of Jerry Lynn, who has mainstays in ECW. And this was right before he got hired by the WWE. And that's a one Matt Hyson, aka Spike Dudley.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, Spike was there too.
Yeah. It's literally a mainstay for like ECW like alumni.
I feel like I could
other
throw an
independent wrestling.
ECW name out at you, and you'd be like, "Yes, he was there," or
Yeah.
"Yes, they were there."
It's like, oh yeah, they did
Yeah.
they did a one shot. Yeah.
Well,
Crazy.
a lot of these ECW guys, there was an angle where during a Cage of Death, actually the second Cage of Death they did in the arena, the lights go out, and out comes a bunch of ECW alumni outside the ring. A chainsaw gets put in the ring, hole gets put in through the ring, and a bunch of guys pop out, and they want to still claim this is our arena, and it's Todd Gordon raiding a bunch of like ECW like. I don't want to say has-beens, but a lot of them are way past their prime at this point. And it's like Todd Gordon, Balls Mahoney, Axel, 911, Spike. Yeah, it was a weird thing because nothing came of it. It was just a one-off appearance. It was weird.
This is still our arena. Then we just never show up again.
Yeah, it was bad.
All right, I got my payday. I'm going down to the Wendy's and get me a bowl of chili. That's down the street.
Yes, sir.
Well, I did have questions for Karlee and Husky.
Yo,
I'm
You guys know
going
the
on
two
the
questions.
ponies.
okay.
I have a question I want to ask to the group as well before we
Okay.
get off.
What you got?
Well, Mike, do you want to go first? I'm curious. I wonder if mine could maybe be one of your questions. And Mike, I'm really interested to hear yours.
What?
Mount
Because I'm going to ask
Rushmore.
these two. I was going to ask because I
Yep.
had actually put this question to them yesterday. Mount Rushmore in singles and tag teams because there's a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. Shit.
I like putting motherfuckers on the spot. You know this, Husky.
Oh, I know. And I
This
was
is why I give
trying
you 24 hours to think about it.
to think of it all day at work.
I love
Okay,
it.
let me-
Mine's
let me-
staying alike.
Let me play a fun game with you here because I don't know. I only know about what you guys told me. Like, maybe I'm wrong in my assessment here, but I feel like the names I think of with CCW. I mean, Sandig's automatic, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like Sick Nick Mondo has to go on there, right? Because that's a
Yeah.
name that everybody.
He's definitely on mine.
Yeah.
He's on.
Now,
mine.
for me, because I saw a lot of this guy, and I don't know, and I noticed, I don't think you guys talked about him a whole lot tonight, but what about Necro Butcher? Like,
Yes.
I feel like Necro Butcher
See,
would be
when
on
it comes
there.
to Necro, I see him very much as an IWA Mid-South guy
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
because he was very much the start of the IWA Mid-South thing in 97 because that's when Ian started that, was mid-90s,
Yeah.
95, 96.
After
So, like,
got
he was
fired
very
from
much-
ECW.
Yeah, right after he got fired and cried.
And I mean, I would say
That's a story. If you
I-
hear people talk about Ian Ron getting fired by ECW, he cried in the locker room begging Paul to keep his job.
wow.
In front
Yeah.
of the boys.
It's
And I
hilarious.
mean, the other one I would throw out there, and I don't know as much about his career, but I definitely want to look him up now too. Well, I feel like the way you guys have talked about him tonight. What about Justice Payne? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like sound like he was a multi-time CCW champion, right?
He pretty much ran that company in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, he was,
I mean,
he was the golden goose for
Yeah.
Combat Zone in the beginning.
Yeah. He's a Grand Slam champion because he didn't come in as a big guy. If you look at like 99, 2000, he was a skinny little dude. He did a lot of high flying. And then all of a sudden he got a big muscle dude and he became a fucking I don't want to put rumors on a man, but
brother, he was on the juice.
I was about to say, I don't want to say it because he's dead. But
Yeah, I don't want to speak ill of the dead either, but you don't go from a
Juice was
dude.
loose, baby.
You don't go from a dude who's got the frame of like Jordan Oliver to being that goddamn big in like a year.
yeah, it was
No.
bad.
He got fucking barrel chested out of nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy? Who's this dude that looks like Justice Payne that ate Justice Payne? Like, it's crazy.
So my Mount Rushmore is Zandig, Sicknick Mondo, John Moxley, and Joe Gacy. Because I will give respect to those later years that everyone speaks so highly of.
Yeah.
What about you, Karlee? Who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Not gonna lie, I've changed my list about like 5 times today. But
This is why I do this shit.
I'm changing mine right now as we speak.
like I know it's like I'm currently like, all right, so
This is
I
why
was
do
gonna
that
mention
shit.
John Zandig, but I figured that would be kind of an obvious one, so I purposely left him off.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Mine,
Me too.
I would say Nick Gage, Nick Mondo, and then for me personally, Matt Tremont and Danny Havoc.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. Mine, I also left Zandig off because I'm like, he created the thing that's like, yeah, kind of leave him off.
He goes without saying.
Yeah, it kind of goes without saying there. Nick Mondo, Nick Gage, Sammy Callahan. I'll give respect to him. Danny Havoc.
Nice.
Nice.
So I also asked you to do this for tag teams because there's many of them. And I'll give mine off right off the bat.
Yeah, this one's hard, man.
Blackout, Ruckus and Sabian,
Mm-hmm.
the Backseat Boys. And since there was many variations of the Hate Club, I'm going to go with the Nick Gage, Nate Hatred.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then I'm going to go with, because they get spoken about enough, I am going to go with the SATs.
SATs,
Oh.
nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Very nice, very nice.
Great list. Jesus.
That is a fantastic list, man.
Most of mine.
Two of his are on mine.
Oh, okay. So who you got?
I'll go Backseat Boys, Blackout, Naptown Dragons, Drake Younger, and Scotty
What?
Vortex.
You're such a homie.
Dude, I know. Actually, what's really funny is he's in 2 of my tag teams. The other one I completely forgot about until I was looking up today. The Suicide Kings, Drake Younger and Eddie Kingston.
Oh, yeah.
Because their stuff was crazy.
Suicide King / the Nation of Intoxication, which is a fucking fiction of.
Nation
That's
of
an amazing
Intoxication.
fucking
No.
name.
XOJ, you don't understand, because they called themselves the Nation of Intoxication. They sounded like they would say it in the tone of the Nation of Domination, and they would put the fist up. It's a wild faction.
Yeah, it was Danny Havoc, Devin Moore, Lucky 13, and Connor Claxton. Yeah.
Did they have PG-13 wrapping them to the ring?
No, they would just come out with beers
Aw.
and
They'd
Jack
come
Daniels.
Oh, all right.
Fucking
So
alcohol.
fucking crazy. Insane.
Wow. So what about you, Karlee? What was your list on your tag teams?
Oh, yeah. So pretty much Mike's almost whole list is mine, except for, so I have the Hate Club, the variation with Nate Hatred and Nick Gage, the Backseat Boys, Blackout. And then I kind of have two alternates for this one. I really liked the tag team of Nick Mondo and Rick Blade.
Yeah.
Phenomenal tag team.
They had some
Yes.
crazy stuff. Yeah.
But one I had to mention that actually existed in the world of CZW, Atsushi Onita was a tag team partner of Matt Tremont's for a while.
I forgot Onita showed up in
And
CZW.
that I had to mention because, I mean, I'm such a huge fan of Onita as it is with him in Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling and just everything.
Yeah.
So I had to mention it. But yeah, that is mine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Damn. I feel so enlightened now. I'm like, I want to go look up
This
some
bullshit you
CCW.
shouldn't feel right about, though. I feel like we kind of just poisoned you for 2 hours.
No, I love it
Like-
though. I'm obviously I'm going down this path of deathmatch wrestling. So it's like this is good to know now. It's like okay. It's like I think you guys just set up like date night for me for literally like the next month is going to be deathmatch wrestling.
Oh no, I'm
Pretty-
definitely
yeah.
sending you both matches. I'm
Yeah.
sending you guys
It's
that
like-
YouTube channel, and you guys are just gonna watch ZZW shows for nights on end.
Yeah.
Dude, if y'all are
Mike.
bored,
we just watched The Notebook. Like, no, you're watching deathmatch wrestling.
This is gonna be a sad thing. I'm
Yeah,
not a good
like-
influence on my
This
friends.
will make you cry, but it's fun.
this will make you cry. But fun.
Damn.
I'm not I've never said I was a good influence on my friends. Not-
We love you for it, though.
Yes, indeed. I think like Husky said, we need to like get the playlist and tag it in this video.
Yeah.
I think we
no,
will.
I'm gonna send y'all that channel, and it's
Yeah.
you all are going to be like, "What the?"
We're all corrupted.
Yeah,
Because it's
need
like
I probably
you know what?
follow them already, Mike, but I mean,
probably.
Yeah,
Knowing you,
It's
it's
like-
the thing.
it's like you know
amazing.
when life kicks you down. I mean, watching some ultra-violent wrestling. I mean, hey, at least you're not that guy. That guy's getting a light tube in his head. Like, come on,
exactly.
you're gonna be all right.
Is there really any difference from watching this and playing Grand Theft Auto? I think not. You got to relieve stress somehow, right? So fuck.
Listen, I know you had a bad day, but look, that guy has a Kenzon in his forehead. That didn't happen to you, sweetheart. You're having an
Right.
all right day.
Okay.
I'm sorry about your flat tire, but that man's on fire. He's on fire.
That dude died.
Things are really being
They
put in
brought him back to life.
Nice.
That man died twice. He also, in then 10 years, nearly killed David Arquette.
Amazing. Well, I want to give a huge shout out to our professor tonight, one Michael J. DeBlesso. You were the man. Thank you so much for teaching us the ways of CCW.
Thank you for allowing me to do this shit.
I'm ready. Hey, man, I'm ready to go down the rabbit hole. I say we do it again sometime. So,
Because we didn't even, by the way, except for like the first one, we didn't touch Tournament of Death, by the way.
well, I think we know what the sequel is going to be. I think we got to do just a whole episode on Tournament of Death because I mean that's like the creme de la creme, right?
Yeah,
I
we're
just
gonna
realized
run
that,
this back. We're gonna run this
All right.
back with
I was
a
gonna say, we
TOD.
didn't
everyone.
even talk about the history and why it became a thing, and this is
Nope.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
we're the next
it.
one will be Tournament of Death.
People
And
And the
are
newest
running
winner is a
back.
woman, fucking Mickey Knuckles. It's amazing.
Fucking goal. Oh.
Fuck yes.
Well, this has been an amazing night here on Learning the Ropes here on Cole TV. But as always, when we are closing out our show, there's only one way to do that. We got to do it with one last plug-a-palooza. Husky, I'll come to you first, brother. Tell us where we can find you.
You can find me on TikTok at Husky Rhodes 912. You can find me on Twitter at the Husky Rhodes _. You can find me on Instagram at the Husky Rhodes, and you can catch me and the man above me along with the Tribal Queen Bree Stout on the World Championship Wreckage YouTube page for Queen's Court, where we recap all of Monday Night Raw from the very beginning to the end. The next episode, we're going to be doing November of 1994. And then the week after that, we're probably going to be doing a live stream watch along of SummerSlam 94.
Yeah.
So That's
I've
going to
already
be
talked
fun.
about that. Yeah,
Ooh.
that's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
If,
that
if,
is-
you, if you need somebody on that, brother, just call me.
If
Well-
motherfuckers want to hang out while we bullshit and watch 94 Survivor series, yeah, come join us.
Yeah, please do.
Because
all-
it's a lot
all
of bullshit.
Yeah, if you want to see two dumbasses and our poor co-host trying to keep her sanity while me and Mike are just doing dumb shit, come hang out. It's fucking fun.
And talking about the dumb shit that's happening on the screen. Because goddamn is the 90s horrible time for the Monday Night Raw.
Woo! It is a rough watch, folks. I'll tell you that.
Bob Backlund's a psycho.
I have never eaten marijuana.
He said the thing.
What the fuck did he
said
say
the
that? I
thing.
don't even remember that. That's amazing.
Go back. It's the 3rd episode in October. He comes
he
out to the
cuts a
ring and cuts a promo, and out of nowhere, he just screams he's never eaten weed. They're like, okay, sure,
It's
Bob.
Says someone
Over.
who definitely has eaten weed.
Please, Bob, come on now.
Come
Yeah.
on.
I can see by the typewriter jaw you've done things stronger than weed, brother.
I'm
Amazing.
literally writing this down right now.
Well, you definitely all need to check out some Queen's Court. That's for sure over on World Championship Wreckage. So glad you guys are back, man.
It's good to be back, man. It's fun.
Did you say
And also,
95
you
or
got
94? Sorry.
94.
94. Also, you got your musical endeavors going on as well, right, Husky?
Oh yes.
And a new show.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we have a new show coming. Me and Mike have a new bi-weekly deathmatch show that's going to be happening over on Rivet City Radio. We don't have a
yeah.
name. We don't have a
Shout out
name
to our
yet.
Wreckage brother Will.
Shout out to the Will Gray and the boss bitch Allison and everybody over at Rivet City Radio. Yeah, we don't have a name yet. We're still workshopping that, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
We got a list of names. We're just kind of narrowing down what we want to do. But it's going to be a bi-weekly deathmatch stuff. We're just going to be talking about random either like companies or like a certain type of deathmatch, eventually interviewing some wrestlers more than likely. So it's going to be some cool shit, man. So
Guys.
So
we'll
sounds
definitely Karlee will definitely be giving you the call to help us out on some stuff. So
Yeah. This
Be
is
on the
going to be
I
a
lookout
would
for
thing.
be, I would be more than honored. More than
Be-
honored to join you. Oh
be
my
definitely
God.
on the
that'd be
lookout. Be definitely on the lookout for it.
Absolutely.
And I would say, if we learned anything from this episode, you should follow in the footsteps of John Zandig, and it should have the word "fuck" in it.
I don't know.
There you
if
go.
that's
We'll talk to our new boss,
Oh, there you
our
go.
other
There you go.
boss, our
Yeah.
other boss at our side shop.
And I don't know if that's allowed on Twitch.
Well, you go with effing. You don't have to necessarily say.
Yeah,
the word.
we can
You go
do.
with effing.
We'll
Yeah,
do.
it's-
We'll do
something
something.
effing needs to be in there. So
True.
We'll do something with it. But musical endeavors. I forgot you wanted me to talk about that.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, no, I'm
I'm a
sorry.
distraction.
You're fine. I make electronic music under the name Dormir. I put out an album a couple of months ago called The Island of Misfit Toys. I'm working on
Fucking
some.
dope shit.
Thank
Hell
you,
yeah.
thank you. I'm working on some new stuff. Follow up to that. I also have I can't really describe it, like a post-hardcore band called Widow River, where I'm singing and playing guitar. We're gonna be recording soon, so be on the lookout for that. I'll be pimping that out once we start recording. But that's basically what I've got.
hell yeah, it's awesome, man. Love to see it. And Karlee, tell us where we can find you.
All right. Well, you can find me primarily on TikTok under Kakeface_Karlee. I'm also on Instagram as Kakeface_Karlee 2.0. I talk about makeup and deathmatch. My two favorite series that I do is types of deathmatch that exist, and if I did makeup for. If you like that type of stuff, definitely give it a watch. I'm sometimes funny. I'm always weird, so come check it out. I'm also the resident GCW bestie for PW60 on Cole TV, as well as I am part of the World Championship Wreckage podcast.
There you go. And we got a big fun episode coming up here soon on Wreckage too, as well. That's
Sure
your
do.
topic, as we are going to look back at one Chris Benoit. Only this episode's gonna be a little different because we're gonna kind of look a little bit more into the conspiracy theory side of things, as well as talk about his
we're going
career.
that
So,
route?
yeah,
Yes.
so it's gonna be a very interesting one. That'll be coming to you very soon. Over on
Kim
World.
Sullivan did it.
Dude, as soon as that fucking episode
Mike.
drops, I am tapped in. Just
Oh man.
So I believed that from day one.
So that'll be coming soon. So, well, Mike, we know we can find you here, of course, with us on Learning the Ropes. But tell us where else you can find us, brother. Find yourself, brother.
MJ Duplessis 1992 on all my social medias because I don't like change or differences because I OCD like a motherfucker. You can catch me on PW60 talking about independent wrestling events. World Championship Wreckage on any show they allow me on, but more importantly, Queen's Court with my brother Husky Harrison, the Tribal Queen, Bree Stout, which I'm surprised she has not fucking fired us yet. But
no, when we get to the Attitude Era, she's
I
gonna
was
quit.
gonna say,
the show.
yeah,
Who's
95's really gonna push her. But yeah, once you get Attitude Era, oh fuck,
oh, she's quitting.
I choppy PP. That's all I gotta say.
Me and Husky are probably gonna be on a bet on how long she can last into the Attitude Era.
Before we get a message of, hey guys, can we watch something else, please?
And then that's when we're gonna make her watch TNA in 2010.
TNA. Make her watch 2010 TNA when Hogan and Bischoff were running it.
Oh,
Fucking Christ.
I'm a horrible friend.
Immortal, brother.
oh dear God. no.
Oh, God.
We're gonna make her watch the Nasty Boys wrestle in 2010.
I just want to make her
I'm
watch the
done.
episode where I just want to make her watch the episode where the Main Event Mafia ran TNA.
Oh,
'Cause
my
it's the-
God. Yeah,
It's the
there you
funniest
go.
thing ever.
Yeah,
I'm Black
With-
Snow.
Booker. Oh dear God. Yeah, that's. You may have to do a side quest special Queen's Court episode where you just talk about that episode.
If we get famous enough to get a Patreon, that's going to be the Queen's
That's
Court
the
edition to the Patreon. Making Brie
That's-
watch TNA.
Oh, that's fucking amazing. Oh, that's incredible. Oh, I love it. Well, of course, you can find B-roll and myself here on Cole TV. And we mentioned earlier, we got a lot going on with Cole TV this week. Busy week. You can catch a replay of PW60 as well as a replay of our Naptown Pro vlog. And of course, you can now catch a replay of this as well. But we teased it at the beginning of the show. It's late enough. I think we can show this. This is going to premiere. The world
is this
premiere.
what that meme was the other day?
Mm-hmm. So the
God.
world premiere of the next Colecast episode coming tomorrow, and I got to tell you something. This is a little racy. So
If we
let's
get
just
thrown
cut
off
to the chase.
YouTube.
Yeah, if we didn't get thrown off tonight, this shit's gonna do it tomorrow. Trust me, brother. Here's a little sneak peek at the next episode of Colecast. It's coming
It's
to
a
you
goal
tomorrow.
Viewer discretion is advised.
What are you wearing and what are you doing over there?
Oh, I'm just
Don't mind me. by the way.
milking the mutters over here. Oh, I brought the essentials. I brought the Hot Wheels tissues. Back in the day, you had to scourge, you had to find something. If you couldn't have that, you had to watch something on your television, like Soul Train. Emmanuel possibly is the most, I don't think there's that many Dracula movies.
No, yeah, that's
The reason why they have more Manuel than Dracula, I think it all comes down to the fact that as opposed to being scared, we like masturbating way more than we are being scared. We like beating our dicks off.
this list is fucking bullshit. So this isn't even this is a fucking Steven Soderbergh film, I think it said. Like, what the fuck?
I have never masturbated to anything Steven Soderbergh has ever done.
Okay, I can't say that. I have jerked off to traffic a couple times.
I'm encouraging every family member to watch this.
There you go.
My fucking God.
So tomorrow night, you can catch our special Colecast episode as we talk about erotica cinema. Because I can't say softcore because there's an issue there. But it's our naughty naughty episode, not what the original title of the episode was, trust me. But nonetheless, that'll be coming to you tomorrow night here on Colecast. And hopefully after that,
I'm
we
crying
still...
at just the preview. I don't know if I can handle the full episode.
I very much had to put my volume all the way down. My parents are in the living room.
Well, this is definitely, as you saw, extreme viewer discretion advised for this episode, folks.
Get some headphones, brother.
Yeah, because we go down a path. Like, I tell some stories I've never told. Gout tells some story. Oh man, it's going to be an episode for the ages, to say the least. So you're going to want to tune in tomorrow night for our special Colecast episode, the naughty episode. So, well, I think as it's going to... Oh, and of course, don't forget Pro Wrestling Tees. You can go get some of our merch, Cole TV merch. You can get over there. And of course, you can catch myself over on World Championship Wreckage, of course, Fantasy Warfare, which we got a very exciting episode coming up that will heavily involve CZW. So be on the lookout for that as well. Well, thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. We greatly appreciate it. We hope you've enjoyed this episode as we went down this path of extreme, this path of what was it you called it earlier, Mike?
Ultra violence.
Ultra violence. Ultra fucking violence. Because remember, we got to put fucking everything. So
John Zandig always made it a pact that he was bigger than ECW and better than extreme. He was ultra violent. He really liked to shoot on ECW.
Well, this has been a very, like I say, I loved it, and I think we got to do an episode on Tournament of Death sometime in the near future. So, can't wait to do it.
Yes,
go.
Yes, I can personally say, as someone who hasn't been able, who's been skipping class and been a bad kid lately due to life and busyness, but this was a great episode to come back to learn the ropes.
Yay!
Yeah. Well, thank you all again. We appreciate all the love and support you show us here on Cole TV, and thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Learning the Ropes. And like I say, don't forget, tomorrow night, you're going to want to tune in, or maybe not, for the Colecast episode, the naughty episode. Like
notification bell on.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Make sure you definitely like and subscribe. And also, I would recommend trying to find some of those tissues like Gout had. But anyways, nonetheless, that's going to wrap it up for this epised. Oh, don't forget.
Whoa! No Diddy.
B-roll's already ready. So.
No Diddy.
Did that come from Diddy's collection?
No.
All right. Anyways, thank you all for joining us. We love you all. And everybody have a good night. We'll see you next time on another episode of Learning the Ropes.